ThinkCar has been coming out with some impressive scanners in the last year, but a lot of them are very expensive. This ThinkScan 662 is a third of the price of the last one I reviewed and still offers free lifetime updates and bidirectional functionality. Is this the scanner for you? Let's find out. Let's start with a question. Who is this for? Well, it's clearly targeted as a budget professional tool or upper DIY tool rather than a full dealer level diagnostics. And that's why it can be so inexpensive compared to other scanners. However, it is using the newer hardware. So it has the 6.2-inch touchscreen, 1024 by 600 pixel resolution. It has a 4100 milliamp hour battery. It can do active tests. It has CAN FD protocol and FCA auto auth support, and it has 12 reset functions. Now, what doesn't it have? Well, it can only do for system diagnostics. It is not a full system scanner. So that's what makes it less expensive. But you do get free updates, no registration, nothing like that. You basically turn it on, update the software, and you're ready to go. You don't have to provide any information, which is incredible compared to some other scanners where you have to enter a bunch of information, subscribe to a service, all that stuff. Not needed here. So that's one of the best parts about the scanner. That's it. No sign up, no email provided, nothing needed. It just starts working, which is amazing. Of course, it is wired, so it's not wireless. That also makes it less expensive. So all great things if you are a DIYer. Now, how's the hardware? Feels really nice in the hand, nothing too special. It does have this rubber coating on the outside, or looks like a case. We have a D-pad and a couple of buttons to make it easier to navigate. And of course, this is a touch screen, so you can use both. Other than that, in the box, you get a USB-A to USB-C cable and a manual, and that's pretty much it. So let's jump into the software. Well, at the top, we have a few different options. We have diagnose, maintenance, upgrade, and more. And on the left side here, we have some options. So we have the same stuff repeated again, but if we scroll down, we actually have some settings. Of course, we have a user manual in here, and we have the fault codes library, very useful actually. And you can go to settings, you can enter your email if you like, connect to Wi-Fi to upgrade the software, which you definitely want to do. You can provide your customer or business information, so when you generate reports, it will actually put that information into the report, and you can configure your FCA diagnostics through here as well. A few other options here like time zones, languages. Here are some of the languages that are available in case that's important to you. And we can also clear the data and reset it to factory settings in case you want to sell it in the future. Of course, I have upgraded everything to the latest software. So if you go in here, it says latest version, and it did take maybe about 35 to 40 minutes to do all of the updates, but you don't even have to do that unless you're working on the latest cars that have only been added to the system. Here you can do auto search. So this will automatically search the VIN number and figure out what car you are in. You can also just go in here directly, or you can do OBD. So this will be the standard OBD functionality that you've seen on many inexpensive scanners. I'm not going to go into that. I think everybody knows what this stuff does. It's for emissions, O2 sensors, all that kind of stuff. You can read standard PID codes from the engine and transmission, but you cannot read vehicle-specific codes from there. So that's what makes the difference here, right? This will actually do vehicle-specific codes. So if we go into diagnose, we can actually see all the vehicles that it supports. So I am under all. You can go by categories if you like, but we'll just stick to this. And here are all of the vehicles that it supports. It's basically anything that has OBD2 support. So I think it's like 2001 plus for European cars and like 1996 for American cars. You can look that up, but yeah, it supports practically everything. And from here, look, I'm still scrolling. Yeah, so of course, if you click on BMW, you can then select the vehicle manually, but let's just go to auto VIN or auto search and see if we can figure out what car we are in automatically. So there's the VIN for this car. And look how quickly it does that. So it's one of the benefits of getting these more modern scanners. They're quick. And here we have two options, right? So we have automatically search or manually select. So let's do automatic search again. It's going to get the VIN one more time and then get us the model. There it is. So we have a lot more information about the vehicle. We can hit next. And now we have two options. We have system scan or health report. Health report is basically a good option if you're going to be presenting this information to a client or a customer. So let's do that first. It will scan all of the modules that it has access to. And in this case, That's the limitation of the scanner. It can only scan engine, ABS, SRS, and transmission modules. And as you can see, we already have some items. It scanned everything already, and there's 4 DTCs here. So if we scroll through it, all of these modules on the 4 systems that I mentioned have been scanned. These are fine. These two have some issues. On this module, the brakes need to be replaced, so it's telling us that the wear sensor is abnormal, which is correct. That is true. Now we have a couple of other items which we can go into the module and actually erase and see if they go away. But before we do that, let's run a report. This is going to be a pre-scan report. It has all of the information. And if you provide your shop information in the settings, this will be filled out for you and it can be included on the report. So where it says nothing here, you would have your information there, obviously. If we scroll, we can see that information that we just saw earlier. Now, what else can we do? Well, we can just hit clear DTC from here, and it will clear all of the codes, and then it will rescan it again to see if these codes are permanent or just temporary or something like that, which is very helpful. And there it goes, super quick, and those are done. So one of them has been erased, the other ones are still present, which is fine. I wanted to see what the other scan looks like, so let's do system scan. This one will probably be less informative on the surface. As you can see, we have all of the modules scanned here, and then you can go into each module individually. So for example, we can go into the transfer case module. All right, gives us a little bit more information on the module itself. And now this is where this scanner actually is very impressive. Not only can you read and clear codes, you can also read live data directly from the module. You can read the freeze frame data, but you can also do bidirectional functionality through this actuation testing. Let's go into the read data stream and see the information we can find in there. So status of the transfer box, select all, okay. Boom, all of that stuff is right there. So recently I replaced the oil in my transfer case and I did a calibration and it set it to 17.3 degrees. And you can see how long it has been since the last transmission oil change, and by transmission they mean transfer case in this case. So 1,200 miles, gearbox class, all that information. And of course you can graph this, but yeah, if you had more items like this, like you have a 5th one, you can deselect this one and select another one. You can do a max of 4, and you can of course combine all of them together and have one graph showing all 4 things. Now the second best feature on this scanner is the bidirectional functionality, and the first part of it is through this actuation test. If you go to a module like engine or transmission or maybe something else, you can go to this actuation testing one more time. You can activate injectors, which is cool, but if you go to general, look at all of this stuff. You can activate the electric fan, you can turn on the pump for the turbocharger. So if we go to gear selector switch, go to general, let's see, functional display, so we can activate that. So pay attention to these lights right here as I hit activate, kind of hard to do. There you go, all of the LEDs turn on. So it's showing you the functionality of this item to make sure that it's working. And that's super helpful whenever you're troubleshooting, right? Because sometimes you don't know if it's, you know, not triggering correctly or if the LEDs burnt out or something like that. And this will help you troubleshoot it. Now, what else do we have here? Well, if we go under maintenance, we have 12 different maintenance items that are also included. And these are kind of like bidirectional functionality as well. Like I said, these will not be available for every single vehicle. What do I mean by that? Well, if you plug this into an electric vehicle, obviously you're not going to have, you know, injectors, so stuff like that. But let me go through them and see what these actually are. And we're going to switch to this view because I think it's a little bit easier to see, even though it doesn't give you the description if you do it this way. But we have ABS bleeding, airbag reset, battery management. So if you change the battery on a BMW, you have to register it. This will do it for you. Brake pad reset, DPF regeneration. So this is for diesel stuff. Electric throttle adaptation, gear learning, key matching, injector coding, oil reset, steering angle reset, and TPMS. So yes, you will be able to do all of these items if the vehicle supports it. Very, very important. One last thing I wanted to show you is the reports tab. So if you go in here, we're going to have that report that we generated earlier. So we can just click on it, open it up, and you have all of that same information saved for you. And of course, if you hit share, it's going to prepare it as a PDF, and then you'll be able to email it or even Bluetooth it to somebody else. And yeah, that's pretty much it on this scanner. It's not perfect by any means, and it's not really for like exotic or deep coding scenarios or deep dives into all kinds of modules, you will only have the modules within those 4 systems. But for general diagnostics, live data, resets, active tests, and working on many vehicle brands, it delivers a very strong value. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel, use the affiliated link in the description. You don't have to if you don't want to. Like the video if you liked it, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!